In our previous lesson, I showed you root 12, and many students frown when they see this. But what if I told you that we can actually simplify this without using calculator? Welcome back to Engineer Math Academy. Let's go straight to today's lesson, simplifying surds. Now, how do we simplify a number like this? The first step is to split the number or break it down using two of its factors. Let's do that. Solution: root 12. So we need to break 12 to two of its factors, that is 4 times 3, because 4 times 3 will give us 12. Now root 12 and root 4 times 3 are the same thing. We are just splitting 12 so that we can simplify it. Next, we separate 4 and 3. That is root 4 times root 3. Instead of putting them under one root, we split them. Root 4 times root 3 is the same thing as root 12. So what did you notice? Remember, 4 is a perfect square. So root 4 will give us a whole number 2 times root 3. And since we cannot simplify 3 further, we leave it as root 3. Therefore, 2 times root 3 will give us 2 root 3. 2 root 3 is the simplified form of root 12. Let's look at another example. Root 18. How do we go about this? Remember the first step, always split the number. So let's do that. Solution: root 18. Now look for two numbers that will give us 18 when we multiply them. That will be 9 times 2. All we did here is to split root 18 to two of its factors. 9 times 2, which is the same thing as root 18. Now we separate them by saying root 9 times root 2. At this point, you'll notice that we now have a perfect square in one of the roots, 9. And root 9 will give us what? Will give us 3. That is the square root of 9 times root 2. Since root 2 is a surd that we cannot simplify further, we leave it at that. So we multiply 3 by root 2, and that will give us 3 root 2 simplified. At this point, bear it in mind that when breaking down a surd to two of its factors, one of the factors must be a perfect square. Otherwise, you won't be able to simplify the surd. But if one of the factors is a perfect square like this, then we can simplify that to get the final solution. Let's take one more, this time a bigger number. Root 80. Solution: let's break down 80. Root 80 is equal to, let's now see the possible ways to split this or break it down. We have 1 times 80, 2 times 40, 4 times 20, 5 times 16, and 8 times 10. These are the factors of 80. Remember, one of the factors must be a perfect square. So which of these is a perfect square? 4 is a perfect square. 16 is also a perfect square. So which do we use? We use 5 and 16. Why? Because 16 is bigger or larger than 4. So when breaking down a surd, always look for the largest perfect square to use. Now let's do that. Root 16 times 5. Now we can split that to be root 16 times root 5. Because 16 is a perfect square, root 16 will give us 4. And we have root 5. Because root 5 is a surd, it cannot be simplified. So what do we have? 4 times root 5 will be 4 root 5, and that is our answer. So a quick one. 1 root 27. 2 root 50. Do this and drop your answer in the comments. I'll check them out and get back to you. Now, common mistakes to watch out for. For instance, root 100. Do not say this is root 10 times 10, because 10 is not a perfect square. So these two factors will not simplify this surd. Also, if you have root 150, do not say this is root 3 times 50, because 3 is not a perfect square and 50 is not a perfect square. So this will not simplify. Now you understand how to simplify surds. But what happens when we are adding or subtracting surds? That is where many students mess things up. But don't worry, we will clarify that in the next lesson. So if this helped, like and share the video, and don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss the next one. I am Engineer Max. I'll see you there.